You want to know what betrayal really feels like? Let me tell you about the day my whole world cracked, and the day I sealed it back together in a way no one saw coming. I used to think my marriage was steady. Not the kind of love story you make movies about, but comfortable safe. 15 years with Mark Thompson. Same little house just outside Denver. Friday night takeout neighborhood barbecues. I thought that kind of quiet was a blessing, until life decided to test every promise we'd ever made. It started small. A cough I couldn't shake. That bone-deep tired where you feel like lying down in the middle of the grocery store aisle. I brushed it off. Maybe I was just getting older. Maybe I needed vitamins. But then came the sharp pain under my ribs, the kind that makes you stop mid-sentence. One doctor visit later, my life had a new label, stage 4 cancer. Aggressive. I went home that night, sat at our dining table, rehearsing how I'd tell him. I pictured tears holding hands, maybe even that corny "we'll fight this together" line. That's what vows were for, right? In sickness and in health. He came in smelling faintly of cologne, not his usual shirt, crisp hair, damp like he'd just showered somewhere else. I ignored the buzz of his phone in his pocket. "Can you sit? I need to tell you something." My voice shook, but I laid it out, the diagnosis, the plan, the slim odds, but the hope I was clinging to. He just leaned back, sighed like I'd told him we needed to repaint the living room, and said, "I don't know if I can do this." I laughed a little, thinking I'd misheard. "What do you mean?" "This. Watching you fade away, taking care of everything. I can't. I'm not built for that." My chest felt tight. "Mark, I'm your wife. We made vows. Don't throw vows at me," he snapped. "I feel like my life is ending with yours. I need to think about my own happiness." That night, he slept in the guest room. The next morning, his side of the driveway was empty. No note, no coffee, just gone. 2 weeks later, sitting in the hospital waiting area after chemo, my phone buzzed. An old neighbor. "Is it true about Mark and Lisa?" Lisa, my best friend since college. We'd shared apartments, secrets hung over breakfasts. She'd been maid of honor at my wedding. My hands shook as I typed back. "What about them?" The reply came with a photo, the two of them at a sunny cafe holding hands, leaning in close. I stared until the edges blurred. Could have been the chemo. Could have been the betrayal. That night, Mark called. "I wanted to tell you before you heard from someone else," he said casually. "Tell me what I'm with Lisa now. We connected. She understands me. She's my best friend, Mark." "She was," he said. "People change." I almost said, "Until I'm dead," but stopped. He went on about needing happiness. I hung up. Days later, Lisa showed up at my door, perfect hair umbrella in hand. "I think we should talk," she said. We sat in my living room. "I didn't plan this," she began. "It's not about replacing you." I laughed, that short, humorless kind. "Not about replacing me. You're sleeping with my husband while I'm fighting cancer. It's complicated. It's betrayal." Her face tightened. "He makes me happy. I didn't think you didn't think I'd what?" "Care." She tried to steady herself, then stood. "I just wanted you to hear it from me." I smiled, venom sweet as honey. "I hope you both find the happiness you're looking for. You'll need it." When the door shut, something shifted in me. I couldn't control who left, but I could control what happened next. See, there's something they didn't know. My grandfather had been an oil man in Texas, sold the operation in the 80s for more money than I could wrap my head around. When he died, he left it all to me. At 24, I hired advisors, invested quiet and safe. Told Mark it was just a little money tucked away. Over the years, it grew into more than $700 million. It wasn't greed that kept me quiet. It was self-preservation. I'd seen how people turn when money's on the table. And now my little safety net, it could be a weapon. I called my attorney, Tom Whitaker. I need to change my will, I told him. He hesitated. You want to remove your husband entirely? He may contest. Let him try. Make it airtight. Mark gets nothing. Lisa gets nothing. Who should inherit the people who showed up? Mrs. Alvarez next door, who drove me to chemo. Mr. Jenkins, my old teacher, who sent me cards. The rest to children's hospitals, cancer research scholarships for kids who need a break. This is remarkable. It's not charity. It's justice. Meanwhile, Mark and Lisa were out buying a boat, talking marriage after my time was up. They thought they had me figured out. I wrote a note to myself. They took my trust. I'll take their comfort. Spring came. One quiet morning, sunlight spilling through the blinds, I slipped away in my own bed. No husband's hand to hold, no best friend's voice, just lavender candle smoke curling into the air. When word reached Mark, he was on that boat with Lisa. He barely blinked. I guess I should go to the funeral, for appearances. The service was small. Neighbors stared daggers at him. The next day, he and Lisa strolled into Tom's office expecting a payday. Tom read from my will. I leave my husband, Mark Thompson, nothing. Mark shot up. That's not legal. She provided extensive evidence, Tom said. It's airtight. Mrs. Alvarez got my house. Mr. Jenkins got $2 million. The rest, over $700 million, to hospitals' research and scholarships. Lisa's eyes went wide. She had that kind of money. Tom handed Mark a sealed letter. He tore it open. My handwriting neat as always. Mark, you left because you thought I had nothing left to give. You traded vows for convenience, love for lust, loyalty for selfishness. You saw a dying woman. I saw a man I could no longer respect. I had 700 million reasons to make sure you never saw a cent. Now you have to live with what you threw away. Mrs. Alvarez's voice cut the silence. She didn't make you look like a fool, Mark. You did that yourself. By the time they stepped back into the sunlight, Mark had lost more than money. The story hit local news, then regional. Dying woman leaves the $700 million to charity after husband leaves her for best friend. Employers backed away. Friends stopped calling. Lisa faded from his life, her social media now full of someone else's arm around her waist. Months later, he was in a cramped apartment, jobless, the letter still crumpled on his table. He'd lost the boat, the suits, even the car he once bragged about. And everywhere he went, whispers followed. That's him. The one who left his wife when she had cancer. Across town, the Pediatric Cancer Center, with my name over the door, was opening its new wing. Kids ran through the halls. My scholarships were already helping students whose names Mark would never know. People asked me once why I kept my fortune a secret. I guess now they have their answer. So tell me, if someone walked away from you at your lowest, then came back with their hands out, what would you do? Would you forgive, or make sure they never forgot?